Stop me if you've heard this before. A prosecutor and a felon walk into a bar in Milwaukee. All right. It's more like a high school arena and a high school auditorium, but you get the point. The black and white night and day contrast between the ex-president convicted on 34 felony counts for concealing hush money payments intended to interfere in the 2016 election versus the tough-as-nails prosecutor who rose to become the country's first female vice president. It's coming into focus in one of the states likely to decide the 2024 presidential contest, as well as the country's future. Just hours after she clinched enough delegates to win the Democratic nomination, with the wind at her back, a massive boost in fundraising and palpable enthusiasm and energy and momentum from Democrats, Vice President Kamala Harris held the first rally of her presidential campaign near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where she put Donald Trump's feet to the fire.
In this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. As a prosecutor, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big Wall Street banks and held them accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud on 34 counts.
It was a far cry from Donald Trump's acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention last Thursday night. His 93-minute address pulled off the rare feat of being alarming and weird and, based on the reaction in the room, pretty boring by the end, all at the same time. Where Kamala Harris highlighted Donald Trump's long list of legal troubles, any one of which should be disqualifying for the presidency, Trump had to resort to gaslighting and the politics of projection.
The Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country.
Harris, on the other hand, making the case that her campaign is about what she will do for the country in the future, calling her campaign a people-powered campaign for a people-powered presidency. Where Kamala Harris underscored her vision for the country on gun safety, reproductive freedom, just to name a few issues, Donald Trump engaged in fear-mongering over the border, featuring his inexplicable fixation with the fictional villain from the movie Silence of the Lambs.
You know, the press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner. That's insane asylums.
That late or great, just made up. With the de facto Democratic nominee, there were no weird movie references or tributes to the world's most brutal autocrats, people like Viktor Orban, just the case against Donald Trump and the incredibly toxic and unpopular political positions outlined in Project 2025.
He and his extreme Project 2025 agenda will weaken the middle class. Like, we know we got to take this seriously. Can you believe they put that thing in writing? Read it. It's 900 pages. But here's the thing. When you read it, you will see Donald Trump intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and make working families foot the bill. They intend to end the Affordable Care Act and take us back then to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions Remember what that was like? Children with asthma, women who survived breast cancer, grandparents with diabetes. America has tried these failed economic policies before, but we are not going back. We are not going back. Not going back. We're not going back. We are not going back.
The Vice President landing on a bit of a mantra there as she soars into the national political spotlight. As she does that, President Joe Biden is officially passing the torch. Here he is in his first appearance since contracting COVID. He will be addressing the American people about his decision not to seek a second term as president tomorrow night, live from the Oval Office. We'll, of course, have full special coverage of that event. It's where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. NBC News Washington correspondent Yamiche Alcindor is out in West Allis, Wisconsin, where Vice President Harris held her first rally today. We're also joined by MSNBC political analyst and senior opinion writer and a columnist for the Boston Globe, Kim Atkins-Storr is here, and Republican strategist and MSNBC political analyst Mike Murphy's here. Yamiche, a bit of history today in this extraordinary election cycle, this extraordinary partner to President Joe Biden, giving her, it's really the second time we've heard her stump speech. She gave a version of this speech yesterday at campaign headquarters in Wilmington, but this was the first rally of this really historic candidacy. And I wonder if you could just take me inside.
Yeah, I want to take you inside now. This is an empty auditorium right now. They're breaking down the stage, but an hour ago, this was filled with a raucous crowd where people were cheering. Some people were getting really, really emotional. There were signs hot off the presses that said Kamala, using her first name, of course, for the Vice President Kamala Harris. There was Beyonce being played, as you can hear. And what she was really talking about was the fact that this is going to be what she called a people-powered campaign. She started off, as you played that sound, talking about the fact that she was really going to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. And she talked about the fact that Trump, she sees him as a fraud, as a cheater, as a predator, and that she's going to feel confident. She is feeling confident that she can beat him. She also really, I think, got the crowd going here. So just inside this room, as you can tell you, it was sweltering because people were shoulder to shoulder, and they were shouting things like "lock him up," referring, of course, to former President Donald Trump. But they were also talking about the fact that her vision that she's laying out is not just about Donald Trump. She says, I have a vision for what the future of America could look like. It's inclusive. It puts middle-class people at the center of it. And people also were chanting, don't go back, really talking about the fact that they want to see the future of America that she's laying out. It's also interesting that she was talking a lot about sort of bringing America together. She said that the road to winning the election runs through Wisconsin. So really talking about this critical state where just a few days ago, Republicans were gathered. I was on the highway coming here, and there's a big Trump 2024 billboard. So it really, in some ways, underscores why she wanted to come here, because Republicans have their eyes set here. But today she was really trying to, I think, get the crowd riled up. And I think that in some ways it's going to be the thesis of her campaign. Yesterday, I was at campaign headquarters with her. I flew on Air Force Two and was at the campaign headquarters. Again, another kind of really raucous crowd. There, people actually had handwritten signs, because some people, it was this all came together so fast that they were actually having to write their signs and having to write her name. So it really tells you that people there were sort of just trying to get their heads around this, but also saying that they were feeling energized. And one thing, as you talk about history, she said that this was the biggest 24-hour fundraising period for any presidential campaign in history. And also her campaign is saying that this was the largest event that the campaign has held when it was the Biden-Harris campaign, now the Harris campaign. So not only is she making history at the top of the ticket, but also just in the organizing and the money that they're able to raise, that is also becoming history-making here. Nicole.
Let me share some of those details, Yamiche, that you mentioned. Team Harris raised more than $100 million between Sunday afternoon and Monday evening. They have more than 1.1 million unique donors since Sunday, 62% of them first-time donors. That's unprecedented and historic. On the organizing front, 58,000 people signed up to volunteer with the campaign, again, between Sunday afternoon and Monday evening. That's more than 100 times an average day for the campaign. Pretty extraordinary.
It's pretty extraordinary, and it really underscores that the vice president here is going to be leaning on grassroots efforts, leaning on people who are excited about her candidacy to power this candidacy, because of course she has to make up for lost ground. She has only a few weeks before early voting starts here. And I've been talking to people sort of about how this grassroots campaign is coming together. And I can tell you on Sunday night, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning talking specifically to black women, because there was this major Zoom call where 40,000 people showed up and they raised $1.5 million in 3 hours. And then African American men said, hey, we can have our own call. So they had their own call the next day, and they had 30,000 people on their call and raised more than $1 million. So I'm hearing that other groups are going to want to get their Zoom calls together, but it tells you that this is really a campaign that has people invigorated. And Democrats had a rough few weeks. I've been hearing from my sources. There was a lot of infighting, a lot of just sort of uncertainty, but now they're like, let's focus back on the issue at hand, the mission at hand. And yesterday when she was at the campaign headquarters, Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, said the top of the ticket has changed, but the mission stays the same. So that really tells you what she's thinking. And also I want to say, when she was talking to this crowd at the end of her speech, she said, we have a lot of work to do. She said we have doors to knock on, we have calls to make, we have work to do. So that also tells you that she's not just saying, I'm going to win this election. She's putting it to the voters, saying they are going to win this election with her.